Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're going to be going over all the Stream 7 theories that just are wild, make no sense, and I don't know how people are coming up with some of this stuff. It's crazy that you guys are going out there with all these theories, and I'm going to go over like 15 to 20 of them. Starting off with Dewey. People think that Dewey is the father of Tatum, because we know Tatum was born around Scream 4, give or take a couple years before, give or take a couple years after. And there's that one scene in Scream 4 where you see Dewey and Gale, they get really close, and you can tell for a moment they were like, I don't know what they're thinking, but it could be something like, oh, maybe if all this massacre never happened, we could have been together. You can tell Dewey definitely loves Gale, and Sydney does have a special spot for Dewey. But no, guys, Dewey is not the fucking father of Tatum, okay? So you can drop all of that bullshit. And the reason why I say that is because it would just make no sense. Like, Dewey, at this point in Scream 4, is him and Gale are like peaked together. This is the most they've been together. Like, they're married, they're living with each other. He's a sheriff of the town. Sydney's off doing her own thing after Scream 3, so they're both just at the best point in their lives right now. The franchise, them coming together to have a kid and then keeping it a secret, I don't see that ever happening. Yeah, because Sydney's daughter is named Tatum. I think that just shows how much Sydney has a lot of love for Dewey as like a brother love. But no, Dewey's not the father of Tatum, so drop that theory, guys. Okay, so Stu. I'm not going to say like him being alive is one of those crazy theories, but there's a theory out there that he's been interacting with Sydney and Tatum without them even knowing. For example, like he could be a teacher at the school for Tatum, and somehow he's making it look like no one can recognize him. Guys, if Stewie was alive, he's not going to be part of Sydney and Tatum's life to the point where they're interacting, and they don't understand that. If Stu's alive, that's a big if, he's definitely in the shadows hiding. He is not out hiding in plain sight, so to speak. So you can drop that theory there. Mark Evans as the killer. Okay, so this one isn't as crazy as a theory, but it's possible because with Scream, like all these theories I'm talking about are like 90-95% bullshit, but there's still that 5% that it could very much happen. I don't think Mark Evans is the killer, and the reason why I say that is because when Sydney moved to Pine Grove, Indiana, Mark Evans was already there. He was already the cop. He was already there. So like she moved to a town and met this guy. The odds of him like falling in love and becoming a serial killer, that is something that just doesn't happen. Because like a serial killer, you know, they go out of their way to find the victim. It's not like the victim finds them. Imagine like you're living next to Ted Bundy, and like Ted Bundy, Charles Manson, Ed Gein, they show up next to you, and then you're like, huh, and they made you become a serial killer. That just doesn't work that way. So I don't see Mark Evans being the killer. It's possible, but I don't see that at all happening. Mark Kincaid as the killer, so the cop in the third movie, that is Sydney's first husband, because I still think she married him, and then Mark Evans is the second husband. Yeah, it's very possible you marry someone with the same first name. It happens all the time, so that's not much of a coincidence, shock, however you want to look at it. But Mark Kincaid, he's a character. He's really out there, and I really think he's the father of the other daughters from Sydney, and that's why she only has Tatum around, because the rest of them are with Mark Kincaid in California. But is he the killer, the Ghostface killer? No. I think that's a stupid theory, because they tried so hard to have him come back for this movie, and he couldn't because scheduling conflicts. He has a new TV show that's just coming out, and that makes sense because he was doing all of that. He has Thanksgiving 2 coming out, but that hasn't been filmed yet, but they couldn't get him back. But the fact they tried, it just shows that he is not the Ghostface killer. Now, if they went through all of this and not get him back, and then he still becomes the Ghostface killer, it just doesn't add up, doesn't make sense. And why would he do that? I mean, yeah, we know Roman was the only killer in the third movie, but in my opinion, we all know that there's a second killer out there. Was that Mark Kincaid? I don't see it. Tatum as the Ghostface killer. This is one of those theories that could possibly happen, but I just do not see it happening at all. The fact that Tatum would go after her mom, and looking at this trailer, she is like shooting the Ghostface. Like, she is definitely not the Ghostface killer. Look, if she's being attacked, like she legit shot at the Ghostface through a wall. She could have easily killed that person. So why would you do that? I mean, yeah, we know Jill killed Charlie in the fourth movie, because Charlie wasn't expecting that to happen. But I don't see Tatum like killing her mom. That's just, it doesn't make sense. It could happen, but it would really ruin this franchise. I would be really upset. Like, why would Tatum want to kill her mom? Kirby working for Stu. I don't see this at all happening, that Kirby this whole time is working with Stu in the fourth movie, and she was like kind of the wingman in part 6. Me personally, I didn't mind Kirby in the fourth movie. The Stitch one was like, she really didn't need to be there, but they just want to have a little continuity with the fourth movie. And I heard like they want to do like a TV spinoff for Kirby, and I was like, oh my god, fuck no, please no. I had enough of Kirby, like I had enough with Mindy, the twin. I love Chad, but Mindy, I had enough with Mindy. So Mindy and Kirby, if Kirby does show up in this movie, I hope she dies. Same with Mindy. I am done. I know a lot of people love Kirby, but I'm good with that. And do I think she's been working with Stu? Absolutely not. Alright, so let's talk about this cult of Stu. So this theory out there that, you know, the third movie, that's what Wes Craven was going to have for the third movie was Stu's back, the cult for Stu, all this and that. I really don't see this movie having like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if not 10 killers. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to go back to the roots of 1, possibly 2 killers. I think we're going to do 1 or 2. In my opinion, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be very hard to have that one solo killer like Roman was in 3, but it's possible if you know how to do it correctly, because it doesn't have to always be the red herring of the friend group. It could be someone outside of the group that has no, you know, where you're like, oh, is this a Ghostface killer? Is that the Ghostface killer? It very well could be one person. But do I think it's going to be this cult coming back? And no, I don't think that's happening. And do I think there's a cult that was a part of like 4, 5, and 6? No, I don't. Yeah, there's a way you can look at it, but I think that's one of those wild theories out there. Speaking of Stu, people saying that Stu was behind the killings for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like, guys, if he is alive, like that is a wild theory itself. That is you're pushing that way too far. Yeah, we all see him in the behind the scenes for 2, and that was because he was dating Neve Campbell, and that is the only reason why. It has nothing to do with him being alive, and the reason why he was back there, like I said, he was dating Neve Campbell. So you can drop that theory. I don't see him controlling anyone in the third movie like Roman. It just makes no sense. Roman was the one that gave them kind of the, you know, push Stu and Billy in the right direction to do what they wanted to do in the first movie. I don't see Stu helping out Roman at all. Fourth movie, I don't see that. You can kind of say something with 5 and 6 with, you know, Stu kind of being the leader, but man, after all these movies, you're finally now making an appearance. I don't know about that. Alright, the Carpenters. You have the sisters and the mother, Christina. Some people are saying that this might be the reveal of Christina as the Ghostface killer. No, guys. Like, this movie, we're going away from the Carpenter sisters. Clearly, Melissa Barrera and Jen Ortega are not in this movie. I don't see them surprisingly coming back and like, oh, look, we're here this whole time. Not gonna happen. Especially Samantha. We know that the third movie, Scream 7, was supposed to be like her arc to become, you know, the Billy, the evil part of her, like, I'm fucked up, I'm gonna kill people, I'm a psycho. But obviously that's not gonna happen. I don't see them making a secret appearance. I don't see them having a cameo. They're not in this movie at all. And Christina Carpenter, yeah, you could kind of say like maybe just because that one scene in the trailer where it's like where we grew up. Yeah, we know Christina Carpenter grew up in Woodsboro, so that is the only reason why I could think is possible. But it's like, why are we bringing back the Carpenters when we're stepping away from that? It doesn't make any sense. If this was, you know, like the original Scream 7 was supposed to be, that makes total sense. But right now, I think we're going straight into Stu Macher, like his point of view, his style. So like this is gonna be like a Leslie Macher sister type situation. Nothing to do with the Loomis and Carpenters. Some say that Billy is the father of Tatum. How can you guys say that? Yeah, we know that Billy and Sydney had sex in the original movie, but like she clearly didn't have a kid in college in Scream 2. She clearly didn't have a kid in Scream 3. This is definitely more like Scream 4, so no, Billy is not the father of Tatum. I don't know why people are thinking that. It's just, there's no way she had a kid from 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and now being revealed. No, it just doesn't make sense at all. Some say that 5 and 6 might not be canon. Might be like a dream sequence, a flashback, just so we can get Dewey back. Guys, I would absolutely love to get Dewey back, but like 5 and 6 happened. There's no way to work around it. Those movies definitely established the canon line. We're not going to do this Halloween 2018 effect where you go like 1 to 2 movies and then you change the direction of the franchise. I don't see that happening in this movie. So 5 and 6, they're definitely canon. And none of these movies are going to be like a dream where it never happened. Some say that Sydney's going to be having all these hallucinations or for PTSD. Guys, yeah, why would she now have hallucinations? We know she had that dream sequence in Scream 3, but that wasn't... If she was having hallucinations, she would have had that by now. After everything she's gone through, why is she now having that? Okay, like I wouldn't be that shocked if she had one or two, like a dream sequence, something that brings back the Roman, Dewey, Stu, because obviously they're dead. Stu, that's a whole another debate. But I don't see Sydney having hallucinations right now. If anything, she would have had that already. Sydney dying. Okay, so we know Sydney wasn't in part 6 because due to the money. She's coming back. Why would she come back for one more movie and then die? I think this movie is going to be the start of a new trilogy. You have 7, 8, and 9. They already said 8 is an early production. I don't blame them because they made 7 really, really quick after 6. So they definitely have a direction they're going to. And like, why would Sydney die right now? Okay, I wouldn't be that shocked if she did die, but I would be like, okay, I was not expecting that. I really think Sydney's going to live for this movie. She's probably going to live in 8, and she'll probably die in 9. Or Sydney will never die, because she's in control of her characters. Neve Campbell's in control of the fact that she determines when her character wants to die. And I really love how at the end of Scream 3, I thought that was a perfect send-off for Sydney. Where, you know, she left the gate open. She's free. She's not scared. She's out in the open. And you kind of you saw that with the start of Scream 4. She's going around town on a book tour, seeing the world. I love that about Sydney. I hope that is her ending whenever she's done with Scream movies. Okay, so this deepfake AI, a lot of people saying that this is going to be really heavy on it. I don't see it being that heavy. I can see it being maybe like a scene here or a scene there, but it being like a major effect, major heaviness in this movie, I don't see that because Sydney is an older adult. She's not this young Gen Z type person where she knows better. She knows what's fake. She knows what's bullshit out there, because when she hears like Dewey's voice or Roman's voice, she knows it's not real. She knows it's AI. She knows it's fake shit. So it's not going to affect her at all. So I think that's going to be a wild theory out there where it's not heavily used in this movie. Like I said, it could be used for like a scene where someone tries to use a phone call, but I don't see it being that heavy in this movie. Some people are like coming out with ways of how Dewey and Roman are alive. Guys, they are dead as fuck. Dewey was gutted like a deer, and Roman was shot right in the forehead. Yeah, people have been survived by being shot in the head, but Roman is dead. So I'm not even going to go any further on that, but people out there are saying that Dewey and Roman could be alive. Guys, you're fucking delusional. And the last one I want to talk about is people think that Roman is the one that saved Stu from the original movie. Okay, so I did a theory about, like, if Stu was alive, just checking off the boxes. If Stu was alive, how could he have survived that opening, the original movie, that ending scene? I did come up with the theory that Roman did possibly help save Stu, but that was such a wild stretch of possibility where it's a wild theory out there, and I don't see that happening. Because Roman, we know that he was involved with Billy and Stu, more or less with the Marine Prescott death in 95. Maybe the opening scene of the original movie in 96, but when it came to that final act, the ending of the original movie, that was straight up Billy, straight up Stu. I don't see Roman hiding in the bush, you know, with his binoculars, with his camera, watching it. Would I be surprised? I mean, not really, but that is such a far stretch. But I don't see Roman have anything to do with saving Stu if he was alive from the original Scream movie. Alright, sexy monkeys, those are some wild theories out there that I just think are stupid. They make no sense. It's like a 2% chance of ever happening. I don't think Kevin Williamson is going to go that far. Like, we're a smart community out there. We love these Scream movies. Why would he do something like that? Because we're going to pick on that pretty quick. But I know there's other theories out there. So if you guys want to jump in the comments below, tell me your other theories out there that you think are just complete nonsense. Until then, sexy monkeys, hope you have a good day.